Right, let's get one thing straight. In today's world, nothing says "don't mess with me" quite like a sky full of angry, pointy jets. It's the ultimate statement of intent. You can have the biggest army, the most enormous ships, but if you don't own the air above you, you're basically a sitting duck. A very large, very expensive sitting duck. Fighter jets are the tip of the spear, the flashing sword, the big red button of conventional warfare. They project power, they enforce no-fly zones, and they can change the entire course of a conflict before the other side has even had their morning cuppa. They are, in a word, magnificent. And a bit terrifying. Think about it. These aren't just planes. They are flying supercomputers wrapped in a shell of exotic metals, capable of pulling maneuvers that would turn your internal organs into a smoothie. They climb faster than a rocket, see further than a hawk with a telescope, and carry enough explosive ordnance to ruin absolutely everyone's day. The country with the best jets holds the best cards at the global poker table. For decades, the game has been dominated by the usual suspects: America, Russia, China. But what happens when a plucky upstart from Sweden gate-crashes the party? That, my friends, is where our story really begins. So, why are the big lads in Washington, Moscow, and Beijing suddenly getting a bit twitchy? It's because of a whisper, a rumor that's turning into a roar. A jet that can do almost everything their megajets can, but for a fraction of the cost. Imagine you've just spent a fortune on a Bugatti Veyron. You're the king of the road. Then a chap in a ridiculously well-tuned aerial Atom shows up, keeps pace on a twisty track, all for the price of your Bugatti's annual service. You wouldn't just be impressed, you'd be worried, you'd be furious. That's the Gripen E fear factor. Superpowers have invested pride, prestige, and incomprehensible sums into jets like the F-35 Lightning II, the supposed pinnacle. Designed to be invisible, unbeatable, the final word in any argument. But there's a massive weakness. You can't be everywhere at once. If your opponent can afford 3, 4, or even 5 brilliant fighters for the price of one of yours, the numbers start to shift. Suddenly, your lone invincible hero faces a whole squadron of highly capable trouble. It's a strategic nightmare. This threat isn't just about numbers, it's about accessibility. The Gripen E is a jet a medium-sized country can actually buy and operate without bankrupting itself. Nations that were never a major threat in the air can now punch far above their weight. It democratizes air power, a formidable weapon for the underdog. For 50 years the rule was, more money equals better jets equals air supremacy. Saab has thrown a massive spanner in those works. You spent $1 billion on stealth, that's nice. My radar can see you anyway. And I have 5 friends with me. Decades of spending and doctrine, undone by clever Swedish engineering and a pragmatic approach to modern warfare. It's the fear of the unknown, keeping generals awake at night. All right, let's pop the bonnet and have a look. The Gripen family has been around for a while, but this E version is a different beast entirely. Like an old Defender versus the new one. Same name, worlds apart in technology. Built by Saab, the same quirky car folks. It's a single-engine, multi-role fighter. Pure Swedish genius. Efficiency and cleverness, not just dumb power. Think Lotus Exige in a world of Dodge Vipers. It might not have the biggest engine, but it's light, agile, and uses power with breathtaking intelligence. Designed as a network-centric warrior, it doesn't fight alone, it talks to everything. It shares data with other Gripens, ground control, ships, even satellites, to create a real-time picture of the battlefield. Sensor fusion pulls ESA radar, ARST, and electronic warfare into one coherent display. Not data overload, clear, actionable intelligence. Like swapping a dozen maps for a perfect sat-nav. Smarter, faster decisions than the opponent. Future-proof, flight systems are separate from mission systems. Plug in new weapons, sensors, software almost like an app update. Open architecture ensures it won't go obsolete. It adapts for decades. A smart choice today and a smarter investment for tomorrow. Let's put the Gripen E in the ring with the heavyweights. The American F-35, most expensive weapons program in history, stealthy, and a technological marvel. The French Rafale, incredibly capable twin-engine. The Russian Su-35, famed for its Cobra maneuver. Goliaths, big, powerful, astronomically expensive. The F-35 bets everything on stealth, get close without being seen. Gripen E counters with powerful EW, next-gen radar to detect and jam low observable targets, plus advanced IRST. Stealth beats radar, but you can't hide a 40,000-pound jet engine's heat. Against Rafale and Su-35, Gripen avoids turning fights when it can. It's a beyond visual range assassin. Armed with Meteor, arguably the best A-2A missile, it can shoot from well over 100 kilometers away. Superior situational awareness means it sees first, shoots first. Halfway home before the enemy knows they're in danger. The clincher is cost. You can buy and operate several Gripen Es for the price of a single F-35. Flight hour under $10,000 versus over $40,000. Pilots train more jets stay airborne, and operations can be sustained longer. Why have one super expensive champion when you can have a whole team of highly effective killers for the same price? A question that's hard to ignore. Modern air combat is an electronic game. Jam their radar, fool their missiles, stay electronically invisible. Gripen E was built to be an EW monster, not an afterthought pod. It's woven into the airframe, acting as sensor, jammer, and decoy at once, creating a bubble of electronic confusion. State-of-the-art ESA radar with clever gallium nitride tech. Powerful, tracks many targets in air and on the ground, extremely hard to jam. It can even focus energy to disrupt enemy electronics. Eyes of an eagle, sting of a scorpion. Inside, a pilot's dream. Gone are 100 dials. A massive wide-area display like a giant iPad. Fusion stitches radar, IRST, data link, and EW into one picture. Freeing the pilot for tactics, decisions, winning. Powered by GE's F414, same reliable heart as the Super Hornet, it can supercruise without guzzling fuel. Save fuel, stay longer, fly further. Canard Delta design delivers lightning-fast intercepts and agile dogfighting, the best of both worlds. Working with ground radar and missile systems, Gripen E helps create a 2/AD bubbles, no-go zones even for advanced adversaries. Strike from unexpected directions, take down tankers and AWACS. The giant turns blind and runs low on fuel. Lose drones and it's a cost. Lose stealth jets and pilots and it's disaster. Gripen E raises the entry price to the point even aggressive planners pause. The ultimate deterrent. Choosing a fighter shapes security and economy for 40 years. More and more countries nod at the Gripen E, the smart shopper's pick. Brazil pitted Gripen against Super Hornet and Rafale, chose Gripen for performance, cost, and Saab's tech transfer partnership. Saab doesn't just sell a jet, they sell a partnership. Set up factories, train your engineers, build industrial independence. Across the world, nations take a close look, drawn by top-end capability with real-world affordability. They call it the Giant Slayer, the Sword of Giants. Not about conquering, about inflicting a wound so painful the giant walks away. A porcupine strategy. Are you sure you want to mess with me? Superpowers plan to sweep skies within 48 hours. A squadron of Gripens can ruin that plan. Bloody-minded practicality. Operate from short, dispersed runways and public roads. Maintain in mud, rain, snow. Needs less than 800 meters. Tough landing gear, quick release panels, plug-and-play modules. Refuel, rearm, and relaunch in about 10 minutes with a small crew. More sorties, less hangar time, lighter logistics. Old rules said, bigger, stealthier, more expensive. Gripen flips it. Smarter, more efficient, more adaptable. A startlingly powerful brain and Meteor's lethal reach. See first, shoot first, win before it begins. Affordable to buy, cheap to fly, easy to maintain. A fighter you can actually use and rely on. Fast, clever, deadly, and here to stay. In the race for the skies, the superpowers are right to worry. Hammond out.